Hi Ben, here is Redemption Song Lesson 2 video. I don't actually have an electric guitar right now at the spot. It's over at the studio, so I'm going to be holding an acoustic. But people have this same teeter-totter back and forth issue on both instruments. So just reverse engineering this. Right now what's happened is the fretboard fell down there and you used your right arm out in front of it to steady it, like clutching it right here. Whereas what we actually wanted to do is move it, an inch and a half or so in this direction, where the fretboard stays up like this, and if you let go, it would fall off to the right. And that lets us swing our arm around the guitar like this, and not so much out in front of it. And we want our wrist in this position, not this position. That's more important than where you are laterally. We can see where you're at on this after your next practice session on Thursday. But for now, if it feels like you have to pick one or the other between being too far up the neck or being in this wrist position, just be too far up the neck. Understanding that the correction is actually moving farther around the instrument like that, and we'll talk about this more on Thursday. But yeah, not this, but it just sits there. This is why classical guitarists play on the other leg, but that presents a whole other set of issues that aren't as appropriate for rock guitar. Also, reminder, you can put your foot up on something, your right foot, if that seems helpful. Definitely no points off for that. You'll find yourself naturally transitioning away from it. Cool. So we've got our new intro version. We're just hitting down picks for everything. We don't need to alternate because it's really, really slow, and and we just want this really small range of motion that's entirely wrist. And that's what gets weird in this position. We're not hitting the strings terribly hard, just not. And it's kind of like I'm in behind the strings slightly. Cool. Here's what we were doing. So we're gonna have the same two first notes. Then we have a hammer on. So, there we go. So pick, 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 pick. And that's a hammer on that sounds like a one-note rhythm. It implies not. So there we are. Then we do a hammer on with our ring finger. We were going. It's still exactly those two notes, just hammer, hammer, and then regular notes. So the second bit is so. Cool. And then there aren't really any new concepts in the rest. We go, which is pretty much identical to the first riff, except instead of boom, 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 it goes ending with D, the open D string. Cool. And then we've got our middle finger right where it was for E minor and G on B here on the A string. We go. We were just going, but it actually goes, and it really goes. Cool, so that was just licks 3 and 4 of 4. Whole thing. Section. Looks like we're at about 4.5 minutes in your counter when we're gonna start talking about the rhythm. Down, down, up, down, up is a really common rhythm in rock and roll and pretty much a whole lot of genres. easiest one for you if it's E minor or something like that. And reminder, our thumb's going to be muting the 6th string in this song, with the exception of when we actually play E minor and there's an open 6th string. And we're erring on the side of wide range of motion. When we see, if I were to just go, I'm going like G and C here. I'm all the way up here, I'm all the way down there. And that's what we want to hear, is a nice, crisp, but like nice easy strum. And this is where being like this starts to actually become functionally problematic, gets kind of heavy-handed, and you have to use more attack. So yeah, loose wrist, like that. Awesome. So down, down, up, down, up, 1, 2, and 4, end. If it's helpful, you can actually, so that's, and the 2 ups in a row is weird for everyone at first. You can think of it as going down, down, up, down, up, down, up. And on beat 3, we're just missing, down, down, up, miss, up, down, up. And that's really what our hand's doing. It just has this momentum of going back and forth. You can actually mark the time that, rather than it being more. Cool. And we do that for E minor. After that, notice that there's an anchor of your middle finger. So when we do our open strum, it's going to be these 2 fingers. So on 4 end, that last up strum, these 2 have already left, and we're going. The open strum can sound wrong if you pause on it. If you go like, it's like that can't be right, but we're fully going. Switch. And I'd like to isolate that as section 1 and not actually play past it and not do it over and over again. I'd like you to pause in your practice and actually get good at going. Just that. And zeroing in on the left hand change, including the step where you just go. So just work the left hand change on its own, and then the step we were just doing where we end up ending on the first strum of E minor. Cool. And then you'll need to learn E minor to C, so you can go, and there's us having to do C all at once. So yeah, not this, if you're doing it this, then this, do it this, then this, and you can just spend a mind-numbing 10 minutes going back and forth like this in a focused headspace. You can also have a dialogue with yourself, like, this time my middle finger ended up 1 string too low, and try to make any mistake other than that the next time. And this is a really good representation of our memorization headspace, where we're really focused, and then switching to our playing headspace, where we're just going for it. The learn the dance steps and then dance analogy. When you go to do a chord change, you just have to go really fast. So try not to feel like it's wrong if you end up on the wrong strings. Just go for it as fast as you can. And it's just one of the major hurdles for beginner guitarists, and this will be a good song to tackle it in. Great, so we had G, E minor, and on your page, all the measures where I just wrote quotation marks for same thing, that means the down, down, up, down, up. Cool. So the only other thing we have is this. Pardon me. There we go. Great, so this is me going C, on my way to A minor, C over B, C, a C chord with B in the bass, and then A minor, noticing our first finger is an anchor right there. And they have the open strums, so fret, fret, move, fret, fret, move, fret, and let's make that a subsection. Down, down, up, down, down, up, down, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and down. Speaking of intonation issues, alright, great. So and I would definitely advise you to start at not play the whole thing every time when you're working on, allow yourself to work on that as a subsection without playing the first two chords. Great, and let's make that big section one. Pretty much it's repetitive from there. It's the same beginning for minutes after they took F from the bottomless pit. G, E minor, and then it's just C to D, which is a big old change, but there we go. So that entire thing was second time. Cool. And that happens twice, I believe, or maybe 3 times. Either way, on the last one, he's going to stay on D, which is what I wrote at the bottom of the page. It stays on D the last time when we're on our way to the chorus. You know, it's won't you help me sing? Cool. And the chorus is going to be relatively easy to play if you've already worked on this section, but it does have this thing that is a little bit different. So I'd advise you to get really good at this, and if you have extra time, maybe look up a YouTube video of the chorus, but pretty much just focus on the intro and the verse. Enjoy that. So all of these hammer-ons that he did, briefly, were all hammer-ons that sound like a one-note melody, you know? But I could go, you know, where it's actually, that would just be a different rhythm. So, you know, that's a thing too, if you want to try to improvise at all, mess around with just different fingers. Doing hammer-ons and pull-offs. And with from Painted Black, it's really just about landing the second note of 3 correctly. If you don't get to there, there's really no point in trying the next note. That's where it was cutting off, was at, and then that last note wouldn't sound. They do need to be decisive movements, but yeah, you know, I'm just gonna hit the string normal volume once, just illustrating, you know, could do it really slowly, as long as we really smack each finger down and do the hammer-ons decisively. All right, sir, I will see you Thursday at 11. Thanks.